I've had this radio for ages and ages and ages, been going to do something with it. I thought we might do a quick sort of a restoration. He'll come up very well. It's a little HMV. Okay. There's plenty of these around. It's a 6655. Okay. And this fella, 2 screws. Oh, that's interesting. Something's. Oh, I hope it's not the ferrite rod. Needs something doing with the dial there, but otherwise, I'm just trying to get some of our light away from sort of where it is there. Yeah, that's a bit better. A little bit. We need background light, not a whole heap of forward light there. Anyway, there he is, a little nipper. The dial looks really nice. That looks good. And I'm sure we can polish this one up a bit, get him going. So let's take him apart and see what we're up against. Oh, yeah, okay. We've got two screws in the bottom here, and I'll reposition you guys so you can see a bit about what's going on there. Sorry about the camera work. Okay, you should be able to see a bit what's happening there. Okay, give us a. You never know where to position these lights. Sometimes they're glary, sometimes you need them for backfill. Okay, let's do a real quick restore. Let's have a look at what we've got to do with this one. Okay. Now, just lay him down gently there. And I don't know whether this is, I guess this is transistor, because this model did come out as both. And yes, it is transistor. That's good. A little bit less work. I don't need too much at the moment. Black spot in there. And service data. Well, not the service data, a schematic. And there she is. That's a good thing. And even how to pull it apart and where everything is. And yeah, a very good idea. That will be going back on the back here once we clean him up. Now, just get this out. I'm suspecting probably just caps with this one. It probably works. I have no idea whether it goes or not. Now, what's wandering around? Oh, hey, there's a bonus. How about that? A 1 cent piece. You don't see many of those these days. What would 1 cent buy you now? And can't see the date on that. What is the date, guys? Is that it there? $1974? Anyway, enough of that. I think it was 1974. We'll have a look. I'll verify that. There it is. Bit yucky. She's been in a very dusty environment, this one. Very dusty. got a dial lamp. Bit of rubbish here. So we'll take him out, get the compressor, blow him out. As far as the front panel, I don't know how these come off. I should do. Not that long since I did. Well, aha, look at that. Tape comes off easy enough. And screws there. 3 screws there. And the front comes off. And then at least we can, start working on it. Got to find something for in here. I don't know what to put in there at the moment. Tuning, works well. No dial cord, guys. Look at that. She works. No dial cord needed. Oh, we've got a winner. Okay, now I think I'll plug him into the dim bulb. We'll just have a listen, see if it works, and then we'll go and clean it up. And I would say caps on here for sure. These are electros, they're all going. There's a couple of little orange caps there. Main electro here, 2000 mic at 25. I would replace that anyway. And I think we've only got 4 electrodes in this and the big fella. And then we'll do an alignment on him. And you've even got the holes here to do your alignment. How about that? We can get at the IF cans there. We can go down through here with this one and that one and that one. So that's good. We can fairly easily do the alignment. Yeah, okay. Let's hook him up and see what he does. Now, I've got a different arrangement at the front here now. Things are a little bit easier to find. I don't have to hook my dim bulb up all the time and all that. Okie doke. Now, we'll turn everything on here. And our dim bulb is off. So, now, I'll give you a bit of a squeeze there. That's a look if you're not Australian. A squeeze is a little bit of a look. Okay. I keep forgetting there's other people in other countries. All right. So there's our Variac dim bulb. And I think you can see the dim bulb there. Yeah, at least we can get everything in the picture these days. All right. We shall dim and we'll try 150 volts to start with. Turn him on and turn this fella on. Nothing happening there. Absolutely nothing. No current draw. Oh, hang on. Okay, we'll go up a bit. Obviously, she's a bit low. 220 volts. There we go. We do have a bit of a hum. And we've got current draw of 1.7 watts. And not much sound. Could be dirty pot, maybe.
Hopefully, Law's behind the golden microphone in the Fortress at 2SM on Monday. So we'll look forward to that. Hey, I'm looking forward to chatting to you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do that. And
the tone really doesn't do much, but could be dirty pot once again. she's a bit.
I'm just thinking, very close to the old Mike, from way back when he used to spin.
And yeah, tone, it's very raspy, so I'd say caps. But we know it works. The volume is quite stiff. The on-off switch is very stiff and very sluggish to work. So yeah, you've sort of got to hold it there to switch it off. So yeah, bit of spray, bit of a clean up, and I think we'll have a winner with this one. Okay, let's get the front off this and get him cleaned up. I've been in the back with the compressor. Oh boy, they're hard. There we go. And he's looking a little bit cleaner, but still a lot of chassis work to clean up. And yeah, we'll get him looking a lot better than what he is. And if you've been watching my videos, you know I'm fairly particular with how I get things finished up. They're just time wasters, really, but yeah. Now we take the front off. I should have my rubber mat down too on this one. I'll take the front off first, and then when I'm looking around doing things, I can find out just, there we go, what I'm going to do with this piece here, and see how the front panel comes up. I think this needs a dial lamp. It may not. Now, how does this come off? Just like this. There we go. Okay. Oh, and look what we've got. Bit of rubbish in here. Look at that. There we go. There now. 27th of May, 1969. That's our date on him. Yeah, a bit of cleaning up here, but not too bad. This will come up quite nice. I might take that badge off. It's always a trick with these little push clips, but most of them do unscrew. If you wind them anti-clockwise, they will unscrew off, but sometimes they won't. I'd like to get the badge out so it can get in underneath and get some of the dirt and that out. So, all right, there's that. Now, our dial is glass or plastic? Plastic. Okay, being dropped. By the look of this, we have a little bit of a catastrophe there, which we can fix up. But yeah, looks like it's something's hit it or dropped it or something. This is probably why this isn't quite centre as well. The dial may have moved or something. Anyway, we'll remove him. Top one's okay. Now, these are little nuts and bolts. Has he got a washer on the back? Yes, he has. This is when they used to do things properly. Okay, little washer, star washer. Remove that. Does that spacer move? Yes, I'll get him out before I lose him. There he is. Just a little spacer to keep the dial off the back of the chassis there, or the front of the chassis, rather. Right. Now, this one down here, yeah, little job to fix him. If I can get in there. Yeah. Looks like we've got a bit of super gluing here. Okay. 2 star washers on him and a spacer. And there's our bit of dial that's broken off. These are screws. Okay. Boy, they're rusted over. Probably get these out okay though. And I'm sure some of you guys out there would have, well, had something to do with one of these radios or know of someone that's got one. There was lots of these radios made. Fairly common. I have done a couple before, and they've been in a fair bit better condition than what this one's in. But we'll make him good, as we do. Okay, another little star washer, and our side comes off. Now that's a piece of cardboard. Got a star washer there that we don't want to lose. That doesn't want to come off. There he is. Okay, there's our dial. I'm sure that'll come up quite nice. We've got to fix that fella, and there's nothing missing there. That will glue on there nicely, and you don't see it, so yeah, there's no problems. There's this is painted on, so you'd have to be very, very careful with a very light, damp. I'll probably use a makeup remover pad. The front is mostly where the rubbish is. So I'm sorry about the light there. It's moving around. Yeah, that's better. So all that rubbish down the side here and everything is on the front. The back is quite good. Right, more little bits and pieces here. So another spacer, star. Okay, so that's what we're left with. Got a little felt pad there. We'll probably renew these. I've got other ones of these, and you can, if you're looking for them in Australia, worldwide. Carl's capacitors. He sells these. So yeah, just look on eBay. You'll find them. Okay, it's not quite touching the back, but it's almost. That actually has to come forward a bit. So yeah, it looks like the unit's been hit in the front there, and it's not rubbing, but really it needs to be out a little bit. So something's happened here, and this just needs bending back a bit. All right, so we'll take that off, I don't want it damaged or anything like that. Hold our tuning gang. Right. And if you're ever looking at, redoing a pointer like this, get some nail polish. Does wonders. Stays on forever. But that's pretty good. That dial looks yellow in the camera. Actually, it's actually bright orange. But yeah, the camera's not seeing the colour there. All right, that's about as far as we're going to go, and we'll do a bit more cleaning up. This poor old, yeah. Yeah, our poor old foam there is coming off, coming in pieces. Got to clean all that up. We'll take the speaker out of this while we're cleaning up. It's a lot easier. I'll be removing the board and tipping it over to work on it. But anyway, you'll see all this. All right. Next bit, we'll clean up a couple of things, and then we'll get to work on the caps. Do the caps, and we'll start cleaning it up, getting back together, do the alignment. We'll remove the speaker now, and this must be I'm not real sure about the circuit. Germaniums, yeah, I think no, I think they're silicon transistors. It's just strange that this is a ground point, this is the negative, and the negative goes to the positive of the speaker. Which, I mean, doesn't matter which way around the speaker goes anyway, but it just seems a bit odd. Anyway, we've just taken the wires off the speaker so that we can remove him. And I'll put a couple of wires extended on these so we can test him later. We don't have to have the speaker in the unit. And why am I taking the speaker out? Well, cleaning, and it it just enables us to clean things a little bit better inside. And while we're mucking around with the radio, we don't actually accidentally put a screwdriver or something through the speaker. That's the last thing we want. Okay. Speaker looks good. It sounded okay. So all should be good there. It also makes the radio a bit lighter to work on. Okay, that's our little speaker. It would be a 15 ohm. Yes, it is. There's the part number. As you can see, bit of dust, bit of dirt. We need to clean him up a little bit. Certainly a lot better off out of there. Okay, so with this one, you can see our little power supply. You can see you've got the transformer. This is for the new boys out there. Got the transformer here, the power transformer, 240 in, and probably about 15, 16 output. Down here, a little cap to a little bit of noise suppression. There's a diode there, just a half-wave rectification with an electro from there to ground. So that's the whole power supply. So what we can do is we can remove that yellow wire, which would be, the yellow wire is for our dial lamp up here, which is actually not working. So we can remove that wire, the red wire, and that black earth wire there, and then this whole assembly unscrews off here, and we can take our power supply away, and that would make this thing 100 times easier to work on, because we can use a power supply here. I would say, haven't got the circuit in front of me, but I'd say the whole thing runs on about 12 volts. I would say 12 to 15 volts. Okay, there's my phone. I better go and see what's going on. And just noticing when we were having a bit of a look at this, look here. How's that? Almost needed the dim bulb. And this one here is also, that's the green earth wire, but more to the point, these fellas, it's just flaking off. So new power cord, certainly as well. Yeah, I didn't actually see that when I first took it apart, but yep, certainly need one of them. And as just a matter of interest, I've stripped him back because the rest of the power lead is quite flexible, looks quite okay. But when you strip him back, the insulation just flakes off. So yeah, that's the rubber back in the day. It's a wonder this cord worked actually. It's just flaking off. Okay, so yeah, even though the cord looks okay, never trust them. Always do the dim bulb, do the variac, and if you don't know what you're doing, let someone else do it. Don't fool around with 240 volts, okay? Can't stress that enough with you guys. Any newbies that want to get into this, don't just muck around with 240. Just be very, very careful, or get someone that does know what they're doing, and maybe they can teach you to take all precautions. Okay, that's enough from me. Well, guys, I'm going to start back to front with this little radio. I'm going to start doing the power supply first. How about we do that and get it right? Now, this, looking at the circuit, this, I'll just bring it up on the screen there for you now. There it is. As you can see, it runs on 22 volts from this little power supply. Now, you can see the capacitor there. So the 2000 mic 25 volt. I'm putting in a 2200 at 25 volt. Should do the job. And back to here. And of course, I'm replacing the power cord now. So I thought I'd start on this. I'm going to unscrew the power transformer to clean in here. It's a bit easier. The capacitor, well, this used to go up to the negative on the circuit board because of its size. But now we can just put it between those two pins there, between the positive of where the diode is and the ground on this assembly here. So yeah, we'll just put a little one across there and clean all this up. Our dial globe, well, yeah, that's got to be, that doesn't look real good. I think we better replace him. There's a little bayonet one. I'm sure I've got some of those. All right, we'll keep working and get our cord out first. And I hate doing these cords, these little retainer clips. They're sometimes they're quite hard to get out. Like that. Yeah, just like that. Now, it didn't break. It's actually in pieces. This is what, some of them are joined. There he is there. And there's the remains of our power cord. Everything's, yeah, very, very brittle. But this isn't. It's not broken. That's how it goes together. I can find a way around, like so. But we'll clean him up as well, and yeah, get this out of here. Clean this thing up. Well, guys, you know me. Unsoldered the tag strip. Let's go all out. We'll get our transformer off, which will enable us to get things nicely cleaned up in here. There we go. How about that? Now we can get at it and clean it. It'll look $1 million. Okay, so there's our transformer. And yeah, he's just covered in lacquer. Looks like he's been hot, but he hasn't. And well, we know he works okay. So yeah, here's our little tag strip, little power supply. All right, get this cleaned up. All right, guys. Well, that's the power supply finished. Looks a bit neater and a bit nicer than what it did, and at least we've got a good cord on it. The little lamp holder was broken for the moment. I can't fix this little clip on here. At the moment, I've just soldered the wire straight onto the back of the dial lamp. So yeah, I'll come up with some sort of other arrangement there. But just to get this operational, we're doing that. And now I'm just going to do the caps. We'll have a look at the caps after I've finished doing it. There's no need in recording me changing electro caps. As I've said, there's 4 in here. I'll just change them. We'll check the others, check through the resistors, then I'll come back to you, and then it's time to maybe put him into action. And well, we'll have to put the front on it, so cleaning, and then put the front on to do the alignment on it because I need the dial on there. A strip of foam rubber down there. Now, just looking at the tuning gang, it's off center. The bracket appears to be straight, but as you can see, this little fella, I don't quite know what's happening there, but that little fella is supposed to be sort of a little bit more square than what he is. So whether it's the rubbers or not, and this also reflects on where the center spindle is. It's got to be in the center of this. So, and a little bit further out because that's taking the needle right against the back plane there. Okay. So anyway, my job now, doing the caps, doing a bit of cleaning, then we'll investigate this. Righto, guys. Well, I've done all the caps. Well, all of them. All 4. There we go. So for your information, one there, one over here, one here, and one tucked right down in there. Okay. So what I found is when I went to unsolder this one, this resistor, which was just sitting in that hole, just fell out. Now that's a tone resistor, goes to the tone pot. And strangely enough, when I first started this up, I fiddled around with the volume, and yeah, it was fine, but the tone didn't seem to work. And I thought, it's hard to say with a dirty pot and everything else. So yeah, I left it, but I don't think that was touching. And when I followed it through, it on there, it didn't look like it had ever been soldered. So anyway, she's resoldered in now. So I'll spray the pots and we'll hook up a speaker and some voltage and just check and make sure all this is working before we go any further with it. Then I'll bolt in the power supply up this end. We've got to wire the switch pot, which is very sticky at the moment, very sticky. And when we finish that, there's the 4 caps. We'll put them on the tester and just see what they're like. They're fairly old. So, and I think they're all originals, maybe, except this one, which was a 125 at 16 volt. But I think these are originals. That, which was the actually the speaker output isolating cap from the audio. So maybe it's been replaced, but then again, these little blue fellas, the Philips type, were from that era as well. All right, we'll start putting it together and wiring, and then we'll test things. Let's try and get the pots a little bit better than what they are. Now the tone pot in there is very, very tight. Well, was very tight to turn. So it's still fairly tight. We'll put a little bit of contact cleaner just in the top. There we go. Okay, that's good. Right, and now the volume, and this one is really tight. Yes, he worked there, but boy, that is tight. Let's spray a little bit around the back of the switch as well to try and get it a little bit looser, a little bit freer than what it is. There we go. Lots better. We probably should use something like WD-40 on these shafts. It'd probably sink in a little bit better. Okay. Still hard to turn. There's such small shafts on these pots. They're the smallest screwdriver. I'll get it all worked out here in a minute. Okay. That is excellent. The other thing we've got to work on is our tuning gang and why it's bent. Bit odd. Okay. Let's hook up a speaker and our power supply and see if we can get any vibes out of him. So let's fit the power supply in. He's got to go in sooner or later and get this little baby going. Now, before that, do we put the speaker in? Might be easier, mightn't it? Yeah, we might put the speaker in first, and yeah, that way we can wire it easily and then mount the transformer in. Sorry about that, guys. I couldn't get the camera in the right position, and my head and my hands would have been in the road anyway. But just wiring the back of the on-off switch. Now we've just got a little cover here to put over the back. You probably saw me take this off originally. Just makes it protected so that you can't actually touch any 240 or mains powered stuff there. Okay, no wires are exposed. Right. Now we've got a plus lead. Goes down here to our plus of the cap, which is right down there. There we go. And our ground wire comes up to here, up the top of the board. Now we also have a ground wire that goes to the negative of the speaker, because in this radio the negative of the speaker is ground. Okay, so we took him off. I'll just go and grab him. Okay, well, our speaker's wired in. We've got a ground wire there. The grey wire goes to the plus of the speaker, which it wasn't last time, but it doesn't matter. But anyway, everything's wired here. Ground wire to the circuit board. Red wire to the circuit board, which is up here, which is your 22 volts in from your power supply. So we'll just tidy him up when we're finished anyway. So now it's time to plug him in. And of course, I'll use the dim bulb, which is over here. And I'll turn him off there, switch the dim bulb on. And let's turn him on. Okay. That sounds pretty good.
I would love. Don't you know?
And I'll tell you what, that tone control is still not working. So there's a fault we've got to find. It makes absolutely no difference. Not that you guys can probably hear that, but I'll turn him around a bit so we can get a station or two.
Doing a huge contributions from Harry Grant. Even last night, I mean, he tried.
And of course, we've got piles of interference. Let me turn the lamp off here. How's that? A bit better?
Tyron Wishart, just a normal player. He can't be just coming off the bench. He's so
okay. Now, working fine. So we know we haven't done anything. But the tone control is still not working.
I just wanted to clean something up. You know when you're attacking on the fifth and you decide to kick the ball.
That makes absolutely no difference. Okay, so there's a fault we better start chasing. And we've got a cap, the resistor, the pot itself. So yeah, we'll do some checks on this. Now another thing I wanted to check. Sorry guys, let's turn him back on. Another thing I want to check is our voltage from the power supply. Now, geez, I can't turn that without a knob on it. It's the shaft is so small. Let's check our B plus line. Now, according to, well, I call it B plus, battery line. Okay. There's our power supply. Okay, very straightforward. And 22 volts. Hang on a minute. Sorry. Okay, 22 volts up there and goes across to supply through a resistor to supply the RF, and this side supplies the audio. Okay, so you've got your volume pot here. There's your audio on that side, and this is your radio, your RF on this side. Very easily split into these early sets. Okay, so there you go. All right, that's the electro we replaced right there. And if we have a look, here's our tone shaping down here. Now we've got to have a look at this. Maybe something's wired wrong, seeing that resistor was, which was that one, wasn't connected. But we've got to find out what's going on there. We've changed that cap, so could be an open resistor, open pot, or yeah, or something. We'll find it anyway. Okay, just grab my meter. Let's see, we're looking for 22 volts. Okay, guys, we'll just go to ground anywhere, and the red lead comes up to the front here, which is there, 21.4748, 21.4. That's pretty close to 22 for me. Now it comes up here and it goes through a resistor, which we'll go back to this. Okay, through that resistor, it's a 1K, and we're looking for 15 volts on the other side of it. So here, okay, comes up here, comes from over the 22 volts, comes to here, and then goes through a resistor down to here, and 14.69. Well, that's close, pretty close to 15 volts for me as well. So voltage is good. Voltage is good. Okay, let's do some measurements. I'll unplug that, turn him off, and no, can't turn it. Turn him off and unplug the whole thing, and we'll take some measurements here. Look into, I'll give you guys probably a bit better look here. And we'll look into this pot and do some measurements here and see what's going on. Ohms. That resistor there is supposed to be a 330 ohm. 330 ohm resistor. What's he reading? Can I get in there? No. Can I get up there where he is? 346. It's close enough. Is there anything across the tone pot? 3.8K. So let's put our meter on, say, that side of him. And let's turn him around and see what we got. 3.8 down to 0. Right up the other end. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And he goes up to 50K. It's a 50K pot. And the pot looks to be working perfectly. Okay. Let's, I'll just pause for a minute and have a look on this circuit and make sure that resistor is soldered to the right spot on this circuit. My boo-boo. Well, we don't know, but let me bring this in a little bit closer with this fella. Let's have a look at the circuit board here. You might come across one of these. So he's connected down here, which was a vacant hole. Wrong. He's got to go to another hole up the top there. I've put him down here because there were some spare holes here, because you can have this model without the tone control, just a resistor across here, but that's where he's supposed to go, up to this top one. I'm not sure whether you can see that, but yeah, it's right near the end of the stick there. So I'll open that up if I can. It's on here somewhere, and let's see if we can get our tone control working. There's our hole right there, and we've got him down here. It's wrong. All right, I've got to lift him up, put him up onto this one. Okay, now we got him through. I just needed a couple of hands. There he is there. Yeah, I'm going to do the horrible thing, put a piece of wire in there and join him on underneath. He's just too short to fit on. Right, did a terrible thing, guys, and joined him onto a piece of wire there, a little J hook, about the only thing we could do. So, yeah, other than replacing the resistor, it was just too short, and probably why it's broken off the board in the first place. Anyway, let's see if it's going to work now. And I am, and if you don't like it, to use another day. And we've got Mr. Laws on.
I suggest you talk. I think you should stay colourful, stay true to yourself.
And the tone
real,
control
which I think a lot of people struggle with now. Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing.
Is working beautifully. Okay. So that's our tone going. Righto. What's next, guys? Probably this tuning gang. Once again, unplug in the tuning gang and why it is not in its proper state. We could just bend this piece, which may have been bent, but the little bracket it sits on, but it doesn't look like it's been bent. But that would be the obvious way of pushing this back into line. I'm going to take it off, have a look at the grommets. We've got some little grommets in here that look very dodgy. So, yeah, let's check them, and that will probably answer our question as to why it's not sitting straight. Okay? Right. See why this little tuning gang is not straight. Have a look at these grommets. And we've got a dial cord here. Yeah, anyway, we'll have a look. Yes, look at this. Our rubber grommet is just breaking away, as you can see. So there's our problem. It's the rubber grommets have, especially at the back, have sort of let go. The thing is, it's gone sideways. We're going to have to release. Yeah, we're going to have to release our dial cord. There's no other way of doing this. I don't like doing that because we all hate dial cords. Up with this fella, we'll see what happens. If I wonder, can I take the tuning drum off and take this fella out sort of separate? I'll close him right up. Our screws here. Right. Okay, so now I can actually, if I push the tuning drum forward, just a sec, I'm going to get some masking tape and hold this in place. I think if I hold him there towards the front, on the front panel, and do the same underneath, just to hold our tuning drum to the front panel. That way I can release the tuning gang, take him back and release him off, and I don't have to do a dial cord. Well, that's the theory. Righto. That little grommet wants to hang on. All right, he's off. Now, hold that, and if I can, there we go. Tuning is off, and our dial cord is still in place. That's good. And these grommets, well, they're falling on the floor. These got spaces on them. They're just disintegrating as I'm pulling this apart. Actually, the back, these top two are the worst, which sort of would indicate what it's doing. All right, we'll hopefully find some more grommets to put in there, and that will probably hold him fairly straight. Should do. 3 small grommets, which should do the job. Okay, all in. Put our spacers back inside, and we'll slip him back on there, on our drum, and he'll still be in the right position because nothing has changed, although that will also depend, the final will also depend on our alignment, but it's looking good so far. Okay, we can now take our paper off because he's not going to fall down, and we can push our drum back a little towards the tuning gang and tighten him up. Oh, guys, we forgot to put this fella on, the aerial. Right on the top one. You might have been screaming at me to put it back on. See, this is what happens when you get old. When you're an old tech, you forget things like this. Here we go. Okay, he's all looking nicely centered. Now, let's make sure yeah, that looks pretty fine. Pretty good to me. So we'll just nip him up a little bit on this. It doesn't have to be very tight, that is for sure. That's good. Okay, guys, what's next? How about the dial? This is our dial. Now, the insert from this is gone. It looks like it's been glued before. Don't know what's been put on there, but that may be the original glue of the little silver insert that was in there. And I thought, well, what can we use to put back in here? And then my wife, Kimmy, actually come up with this suggestion of, she said, put a button in. And I said, well, yeah, how can you put a button in there? It's got holes in the center. And she said, no, she knows of something that you make your own buttons. And yeah, a bit skeptical about the whole thing, but you should never underestimate your wife and her thoughts on things. Look at this. It's a little button that you can make your own buttons. You can put a covering on that and put your own backing on it. And that fits perfectly in there. And that almost looks identical to the original. So there you go, guys. There's a tip for you. So if you're looking for maybe a top off a knob or something like that on a radio, look in the button department in Australia, Spotlight. The rest of the world, well, any good haberdashery shop, I guess. But yeah, that's what's done it. So now I need to clean this, just get rid of this old glue. I also have to repair a broken corner on this. That's, just a bit of super glue on that fella, and that'll glue him on there. All right, we'll do that. We'll come back. Well, guys, there you go. How does that look? Looks $1 million, I reckon. Super glued on and super glued this corner, the broken corner. Okay, so once this goes back on here, yeah, I think that's going to look pretty damn nice. Okay, we'll let this dry, and we'll do a couple of other things here. And yeah, there's a couple of bits on the case, so I might show you that now while we're doing this. Rightio, it's time to put the dial on. Now, I've got a couple of little spaces just sitting there. Now, we'll drop our screws through there. They go through the spaces into the holes of the radio, like so. Now, we might put the washer and a nut on them to hold that in position before we do this side. Right, we've got those two in under that one. Okay, guys, well, there he is. He's back in anyway, and yeah, that's working very nicely. If we need to adjust the needle at all, which I don't think we do, because it's slightly below, slightly above on our line across there, and if we take him over the other side, he's the same, slightly below, slightly above. So really, the needle is spot on. So it's only a matter of aligning the radio per where the needle is. And we've got some markings around here, but we'll come to all this on the alignment. Okay, so that's got that bit done. What else has to be done? Probably not much now until the alignment. So we do have some material tape that's got to go across the top, but this actually goes across the top once the front goes on and covers the screws so they don't mark the cabinet. Okay, we've got a rubber protector down the centre here. The same over here on the back of the power supply when the back of the unit goes up against there. Yeah, I think really it's alignment time. I can't see anything else we need to do for the moment. Okay, so we'll be back. I'll set up all the gear. For me, it's the end of the day. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and I think there's a wine calling my name. It's maybe my wife, but I think it's a wine. So we'll come back tomorrow morning and finish this fella off. Do the alignment, put him in the case, and yeah, one more complete.